words.
All right, so look, let's look at verse 16. So it says, and Jacob begot Joseph. So Joseph is a product of Jacob begetting, right? And then it says Joseph is the husband of Mary. And then it says Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. So Joseph is the son of Jacob and the husband of Mary. And when it comes to Mary, Mary is the wife of Joseph, and she's of whom was born Jesus, who was called the Christ. So here we got Jacob begot Joseph, and we got Mary is responsible for birthing Jesus. So we don't see Joseph begetting anybody.
No, and that in the ancient, even in the ancient manuscripts, doesn't say that either. But let's go back through this.
Yeah.
Right. So this is, I'm sorry, verse 15. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Because Eliud, I believe that's how you say it, beget Eleazar, right? Who's Eleazar's father?
Eliud is his father.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Eleazar begat Mathan, right? Who's Mathan's father?
Eleazar.
All right, and so Mathan begat Jacob. Who's Jacob's father?
Mathan.
Okay, and it says, and Jacob begat Joseph.
Right.
Right? Joseph, the husband of Mary. It says of whom? Right. Who's of whom here?
That's Mary.
The of whom is talking about Mary?
Yes, because
that's not how English
right,
works.
So let me explain. Whom is a relative pronoun, and it always follows the noun before it, and the noun before is Mary.
Yeah, Mary, the husband of Joseph, the person was begat of Jacob.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right, click on
yes.
Okay, so now listen. Click on tools.
Well, hold on. Before we even get there, I want to deal with this real quick. Right? So this says, and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom, right, was, and the whom, that's all, Jacob, it's really Jacob and I'm not Jacob, Joseph and Mary, right, of whom, right, was born Jesus, who was called, it was called Christ. So what you would want me to believe is that we're going to read all these physical lineages of men, all the way up until Jacob, all the way up until Joseph, and then for some reason, it's now attributed to Mary.
Click on tools. Well, that's the way the Greek works.
So what is the significance of naming Abraham's lineage, Abraham, going through the lineage of Abraham all the way to Joseph, literally, physically Joseph, and negating all of that and saying it's from Mary? What's significant to that?
To show you that this is not the lineage of Jesus, right? Through Joseph.
Why?
That's what that's for.
Why?
Because everybody had a kid except for Joseph. So if you go to John 3, one last thing. If you go to John 3:16, it even says God only begotten son. So even God begot somebody. So everybody begot somebody. And Joseph only, and he begot nobody. And it clearly shows that Mary is of whom was born Jesus. So in this Matthew's lineage, Joseph is the only one without a son, or yes, without a son.
As far as your breakdown, I don't believe it's broken down like that.
So okay, so when it says Mary of whom, you don't believe she's getting the credit for Jesus?
I think both of them are.
That's impossible. Click on tools. Because whom is a relative pronoun, and it refers to the noun that was before. That's only Mary, and Joseph.
No, and that's the point that I'm trying to make, because it says of whom, it says of whom, that whom be Mary, the husband of Joseph, the person who was begotten of by Jacob. So that it's saying of whom, husband of Mary, the husband of Joseph, the person who was previously begotten.
Okay, so do me a favor.
And even the word right there, it says born Jesus. It says was born Jesus. That born is begotten.
That born is not begot, but it is born.
What is that? What is that? It says of whom, that whom be Mary, the husband of Joseph. Let me see. It's a Janelle, right? It's a little different. Let's see. Janelle.
Yeah, the verbs are different.
Let's see. It's a one. It says of men who father children. So if we're gonna follow that line of logic, right, where it means of men who father children. So we're gonna say this is Mary, of whom was Janeo Christ. What that word Janeo means of men who father children.
It was you read other outline uses of the Bible. You didn't read the definition. So first of all, the verb itself is totally different from begot. Okay, so the parsing, this ain't the parsing. So go to the parsing. Go back to the actual text. Okay, right there. So now click, wait, go down. Wait, let's start with begot. Go to begot first. Okay, so now the parsing for begot is V-A-I-I-3-S. Click that. No, not that. All the way to the right. That. Yes.
This?
Okay, so begot is in the active, right? Like, so this ganao verb is in the active. If you scroll down, it's in the active. Scroll down. Okay, so the active means that the subject is the doer of that verb, that action. So that means Jacob literally begot Joseph. So Jacob is the doer of begetting. And if you X out of that, right? X out. And you go to the begot from Mary, right? Where it says born of. You click that parsing. Okay, so this is in a passive. Scroll down. So that's totally different. The passive means that the subject is the recipient of the action. So only one person could be born, and that's Jesus, right? Okay, so that's not to negate or debunk anything. So I'm just pointing out that these verbs they both definitely mean ganao, but they're used differently. One is in the active and one is in the passive. So now if you exit out of that and you scroll down a little bit and you click, go down, scroll down. Actually, scroll up a little bit.
Where you
to whom? Click the parsing for whom. Right there. Yeah, click the parsing for that.
Oh, you mean the usage?
Yeah. Let's scroll down. So you see, it's go back up a little bit. So it says right there it's feminine. So it's a relative pronoun, and it responds to the noun before, which is feminine, Mary. So it's telling you that Mary is the of whom. So it could read like Mary, of whom she was born Jesus. Now scroll down a little bit more. Scroll down a little bit more. Okay, now right there. Now click genitive. Yep.
This?
So genitive means to have ownership. Okay, so this is telling you that the feminine have ownership of the was born. So Mary of whom is the ownership of who was being birthed, which is Jesus. That's what it's telling you when you read it correctly.
Are you there?
Yeah. So.
Okay. So this goes back into what I was saying previously, right? Because like as far as where you broke that down, if you want to break it down that way, it's fine. I get how you break it down, but it still goes back into I don't believe. I'm not about to sit here. I'm not about to sit here and then read all these fathers' names, right? And it gets to Jacob and then to Joseph, and then it says the husband of Mary. It's of whom, right? Because at whom, okay, it's tribute to Mary. Got you. I got you.